Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be my recommendations for the Sephora savings event of fall of 2025, and this is part 2 because I did film the spring savings event of 2025. So there are fragrances that I would definitely suggest, but I don't want to repeat them, so I will have that video linked down below if you need other recommendations. But this is picking up where I left off in that video. I'm going to mention one only because it is part of my scent of the day. I'm going to go over my loves list first, and then I'm going to get into which ones I would recommend. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so first up are items on my loves list. I am not picking up everything because my loves list is pretty long, but I did want to recommend any of the holiday perfume sampler sets. I usually go through each one and see if there's a fragrance that I want to pick up, because it's usually cheaper to get it this way. Then you can try out other fragrances, and then it does have a voucher for a 30 or 50 ml. So I did want to mention those. I also have the Fleur mini perfume sampler set that I was looking at. I wasn't crazy about Missing Persons, but I kind of wanted to give that fragrance another chance. I really enjoyed Father Figure and Rose Whip, and then I did want to try Vanilla Skin, and what sold me were that these little minis are mists and not dabbers. So if that's still available, I think I might pick that set up. I think that's a great value. I also have on my loves list the Rare Beauty balms, the balms that you're supposed to mix with the Rare Beauty fragrance. So I'm interested in those. I'm also interested in a couple of fragrance mists. I recently got into Fleur, and I do have some recommendations. And I have Mango Mood and Beach Skin. So you guys would have to let me know, have you tried those? What are your thoughts? Because when I'm on the fence, I like to hear your guys' thoughts on some of these if you've tried them, because sometimes that helps me decide. So a couple of travels that I'm thinking of picking up. I've been wanting to pick up the Moroccan Oil Travel. It's actually been sold out, and they have this set where it comes with the travel as well as a mini. I also want to try the new Nest New York Madagascar Vanilla. Nest is actually a perfume house where I get a lot of hits. I really enjoy a lot of their fragrances, so I usually pick up their travels. So I do plan on picking that one up. I'm thinking of picking up this Rare Beauty Selena Fave mini fragrance perfume and blush set. I did get the little mini, and this is a roller ball, and usually I don't like roller balls, but I think this is a great way to pop it in your bag and kind of re-up on your fragrance. And I love the blush, so I think that's a really nice set. They also have the travel set. It's currently sold out, but I would recommend also the Rare Eau de Parfum set if it comes back in stock. I also plan on picking up minis of the Kayali Oudgasm Chocolate Oud and Milky Musk. I have the 50 ml. I was lucky enough to receive that in PR, but I collect all her minis, and I usually get them during the Sephora VIB. So if they're available, I'll be picking that up. And then I've been going back with Yves Saint Laurent's new Libre Vanilla Couture. It is redundant, but like Platine and the original, I think it might be a favorite of mine. I enjoy the Intense and Le Parfum, but I find them to be very close to Libre. And Vanilla Couture reminded me of Libre, but without the lavender. Now, I love the lavender in Libre. Again, it could be in there, but whether they took it out completely or toned it down, my nose does not detect it just yet. I did only try it once. When I went to go meet my girl Latanya, we actually went into store and tested it out. I went ahead and doused it. My mom put it on, so I was able to smell it on her. She smelled it on me. We both really enjoyed it. It didn't wow me, but that's because I'm very familiar with the fragrance. But I would almost say that it's one of my favorite flankers because it's different enough. It's a soft vanilla. It's basically a soft Libre, because that fragrance is a little loud. It's a softer vanilla version of it. So I'm thinking of picking it up and then maybe letting go of my Intense and Le Parfum. I haven't decided yet, but that is another one on my loves list. And then I do want to get into store and try Angel Share on the Rocks. If anyone has tried that fragrance, please let me know your thoughts. Angel Share is one of my favorite fragrances in my collection, and I'm very interested in trying this. It's supposed to be a fresher take on it. You guys know I'm a freshy kind of girl. I do want to get into store to try that one. So that is my loves list. There are 2 other items, but since I'm getting them larger bottles, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about them when I go over my bottle fragrances, but first we're gonna go over my recommendation mists. So my first recommendation is Sol de Janeiro Sundays in Rio. This is a really nice, warm, ambery vanilla fragrance. There's something slightly fruity in this one, even though I don't think they list a fruit, but this one almost reminds me of maybe like a soft plum. Again, they don't list it. This one has warm vanilla, pink pepper, and amber musk. I like this one. I think this one's going to be really beautiful for fall, especially Florida fall. It gives me like a cozy vibe. I also said that this one does remind me like of summer nights. It's a little bit more sensual of the mists that are like that, because I feel like they have a few in their line. This one is probably one of my favorite ones. So again, that's Sol de Janeiro Sundays in Rio. And then another set of mists. Now I didn't get these at Sephora. I got these on TikTok Shop. I'm new to TikTok and it's dangerous. Picked up 7 of their mists, and these 2 were my favorite. Everybody was talking about vanilla. I think it's vanilla blackberry. That one's okay. I picked up, I think it's vanilla nectar, and then I picked up their like smaller set with caramel, which I had talked about that one in my last video. I'm going to talk about it in a future video. I have thoughts on that one. Coconut skin, which I haven't really dove into, and vanilla skin, which is one of their popular ones. So I'm going to go into more of the mists at a later date. Mrs. Smith and Peach Skin were 2 of my favorites. This one I almost didn't get, because this one, a lot of people said it just smelled like a clean shampoo-y musk. I like shampoo-y fragrances, and I don't mind that in a mist. But I do get the Granny Smith apple. This one has Granny Smith apple, pear, watermelon, apple blossom, violet, pink lady apple, praline, and a musk nectar. It is musky. And then the green apple in here is very crisp and dry. So I did enjoy this one, especially if you just want to smell like clean after the shower. Peach Skin. I was so proud of myself when I smelled this. I was like, this smells like a peach Bellini. And without even looking, that is actually the first note. So this one has peach Bellini, bergamot, peach skin, white freesia, vanilla orchid, jasmine nectar, a milky sandalwood, sheer amber, and a coconut caramel. This is a beautiful, warm peach Bellini fragrance. This one lasts 8+ hours on my skin. I will say that I enjoy this opening. I enjoy the mid, but the deep, deep dry down, that kind of warm coconut caramel sandalwood actually gets a little too much for me. But I do really enjoy this fragrance for like the first 4 or 5 hours. It is beautiful. For a mist, this is a hit. Fleur is usually a hit or miss for me. I've tried a few of their fragrances and they've been like a hit or miss house, which is fine, of course. Not everything's for everybody. And the same for their mists. They have been hit or miss, and this was a hit. I will say that the sandalwood and the deep, deep dry down can get a little much. I do want to try it with Awakened Confidence. This is a juicy peach. So I do want to try this combination. I talk about this one in my last video. Okay, and then I did talk about this in my last video, but I talked about the deodorant. I talked about Salt and Stone and my favorite, which was Bergamot and Hinoki, but this is now my new favorite, and that is Neroli and Basil. At the time, they hadn't come out with a mist yet, and I had said in my video, they need to come out with a mist, and they finally came out with a mist. And I did get a set. And this is just a beautiful herbal woody fragrance. I feel like Salt and Stone gives me that kind of like hotel vibe. Like you smell luxurious and like a spa day kind of fragrance. So I do have a review on this range. Again, that's Salt and Stone, Neroli, and Basil. So those are some of my fragrance mist recommendations. Now we're gonna get into my actual fragrances that I wanna recommend. And this isn't in no particular order, but I do have a number 1. Just know that number 1 and number 2 are kind of neck and neck. First up is Rare Beauty. This is on my loves list. Again, what's on my loves list I might not necessarily get, but I am planning on getting a large bottle of Rare Beauty because I love this fragrance. So I did review this and what the differences are between this and Burberry Goddess, because they are very similar. But check out my review if you want to know why I'm okay with that. This has become a daily wear for me. So I did get a travel and got through half of it. And then when I went out with some friends and like their family that was in town, one of the girls that was there was telling me that she's been dying to try the new Rare Beauty, and I happened to have it in my bag. So I pulled it out and she fell in love with it. And I just told her to keep the rest of it. And I was like, that's perfect because I've been wanting this set. So I did pick up this set, I think a few days later. I already got a dent in it. I'm already picking up a larger bottle. This is a perfect everyday wear. All right, I did want to recommend Kayali's Oudgasm Chocolate Oud. Now, this was sent to me, and also Milky Musk. I haven't revisited Milky Musk because I've been testing out other fragrances, but this was a love at first sniff, and I have worn this one multiple times. I already have a little bit of a dent. She's already like here, and this is a beautiful intoxicating apple fragrance with a touch of chocolate. The oud is peaking, but it's still not quite there, but I'm starting to get it a little bit more. So I love this one. I do have a review on this one as well, so check that out if you want more details on this scent. And then again, I did a review on this one as well. I ended up getting the travel first, fell in love, and Ellis Brooklyn had a 30% off sale. Was Vanilla Salt by Ellis Brooklyn. So this was one I already knew I was going to pick up, but I was waiting for a 20% off sale at Ulta because I didn't see this. Actually, I don't think you could pick this. Is this one available? Ellis Brooklyn's weird. They release some stuff at Sephora and then some stuff at Ulta. So Queen's Caramel, which I tried, that one I was like, there's something keeping me from loving that one. It's the maple, and it gets stronger. So I would not recommend Queen's Caramel unless you love gourmands. You might still want to pick that one up. They don't have this one at Sephora, but I still want to recommend it because whenever Sephora does stuff on sale, Ulta's not too far behind. So I still would recommend this one. This is a beautiful salty vanilla. And I want to say that Ulta is actually running a 20% off sale. So Ellis Brooklyn, I signed up for their email and they did have a 30% off sale, but it was like a private sale. So they sent me like my own code, or else I would have shared it with you guys. So I was able to pick this one up at 30% off. So I would sign up for their emails or wait till Ulta puts like their 20% off. So again, that's Ellis Brooklyn's Vanilla Salt. All right, now we got my top two. So part of my scent of the day is Fleur's Cherry Stem. This is my favorite cherry fragrance in my collection. This is a beautiful, intoxicating cherry fragrance that starts off very bright, fun, and flirty, and then dries down very seductive and sexy. You get that orange brandy and cherry in the opening, and then the plum comes in. I have a review on this one. I'll link it below. This I'm getting a large bottle of. This is a close number 2. So what would make this one number 1 is the price. I think Fleur is priced really well. I like that they're clean at Sephora, but this isn't an everyday scent. This next one is number 1 because this to me is signature scent worthy, but it's the price that keeps it from it being number 1. But this one is so sexy. So again, that's Cherry Stem by Fleur. And then my number 1 pick, that is Valentino's Donna Born in Roma Ivory. And this isn't going to be for everyone. So if there's one thing I can recommend is getting into store if you can and trying it out, because that is what I did. I did not blindly buy this one. This is a $200 fragrance after tax, but I love this one. This is a gorgeous, clean, soft, powdery, marshmallow, musky scent. I love this one day and night. This is signature scent worthy in my opinion. I do think it is overpriced, so if you could get it on sale, I paid full price for this one because when I tried it out in store, I couldn't get it out of my head, and Kohl's was the only place that had it. I didn't know if they were going to be restocking it because Valentino's pretty good about when it's limited edition. It's limited edition. They usually do 2 rounds of it and then that's it. I didn't want to risk it, so I went ahead and paid full price. But if you can save a little bit of money, she would be my number 1 recommendation, you know, scent wise, but scent wise, price wise, clean at Sephora, that would go to Fleur. But this one is more wearable. So I do feel like I'm gonna get more wear out of this one. This is the 100 ml bottle, and the bottle of this one that I'm gonna pick up is 50 ml. So just keep that in mind. But those I would say are my top two. Okay, and then one more recommendation that I'm gonna slide in here. This was my number one. Was this my number one? No, my number one from my spring VIB was Dolce & Gabbana's L'Imperatrice Royale. This is a beautiful one, but I did want to mention this one because it's part of my scent of the day, and the combination is gorgeous. And that is Valentino's Donna Born and Roma Extra Dose. I layered that today with Cherry Stem because this is a beautiful fruity boozy vanilla, and then this is a beautiful boozy cherry, and this combination was intoxicating, and I love both of these on their own. So yeah guys, those are my recommendations for the Sephora VIB fall of 2025. Let me know, what do you guys plan on picking up? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.